So I grew up in small town Idaho, and I remember when I was really little and when my mom was working 2 or 3 jobs in order to make ends meet and get by. She told me much later, I didn't know this at the time, but she told me much later about how when it came time for annual school supplies for my brothers and I, she would have to max out her credit cards in order to get our school supplies and school clothes and then pay it off throughout the year. And I remember when I was in high school and I talked to my mom about getting a job, high school job like everyone does. And I wanted to get a job in the local lumber mill because they paid pretty well. And my mom said, no, you're not going to get a job at the lumber mill because you're going to go to college. And in order for you to go to college, you need to get scholarships. And she said, so you need to apply yourself to your schoolwork like you had a job and get the grades and the test scores that you need to be able to get those scholarships to go to college. So that became my job. And so I worked hard and I graduated top of my class and I got the scholarships. I was fortunate. I ended up being the first in my family to get a bachelor's degree. That was pretty important. It was quite an accomplishment. I think that was one of the things about growing up in small town Idaho, is knowing that you can do those things, but knowing that that opportunity is there and it's available for you so that you can go on and change your life and better your life for the future. And I used those lessons about working hard when it came to applying my mind to doing things. And I used those to go after college to go on to law school. Those same skills of applying your mind to those types of goals will take you far in life. And I used those to advance my career as an attorney and then advance my career in higher education and eventually work my way up to be a university president in my home state, where I now get to help other first-generation students achieve their dreams.
My college journey started very young. My parents were immigrants from the Philippines, and my parents were very forward-looking. So they very much emphasized for me at a young age that you need to get an education. It was never a question in my parents' mind, and they spent all of their time saving up money, making sure that I could get the best education that we could afford. That's basically how my parents always thought of education. They were always budgeting for college as much as they could. And I was really grateful for that. I'm very fortunate that that was their viewpoint on education. The plot twist is when you encourage your child to pursue education for a very long time at a young age, sometimes you never want to stop. So that's how I ended up pursuing a PhD here at Idaho State University. And it was because of other programs that existed, such as the Minority Access to Research Careers in my undergrad at Cal State Fullerton, that I was inspired by faculty members and other teachers that really saw something in me and encouraged me to keep going. That I had the grit and the skills to just keep going no matter what. And I'm really thankful for that kind of support, which is why I really enjoy my current position as I finish up my PhD, working with the TRIO Student Support Services Program and the TRIO McNair Scholars Program to pay forward all of the belief and support that others before me had given me. And they had really helped me navigate as a first-generation student and an underrepresented population student, really helped me navigate what these really hidden things about education are, that are assumptions that a lot of people make, that as a student you should know these things. And so I just really want to pay that back and pay it forward.
Idaho State University is happy to announce its week of celebration for National First Generation College Student Day. This event was established in 2017 by 2 national organizations: the Council for Opportunity Education, which is the national organization for TRIO professionals, and NASPA, the National Organization for Student Services and Student Affairs Personnel. The concept of first generation is not new. It was actually developed by the United States Congress in the 1970s through the activism of TRIO professionals throughout the country. First generation is defined as the first in your family to go on to college, which means neither parent has a 4-year degree. Sometimes this is commonly misunderstood. It was understood then, and still is now, because the definition has remained the same, that an experience of a first-generation college student is fundamentally different than that might come from a second, third, or fourth-generation student. I myself am the first in my family to go to college, and I have to admit it was a struggle. My mom supported me wholeheartedly, but after my first semester in college, I dropped out and became a third-generation McDonald's manager. It was a struggle to get back on my educational journey, but I sure am glad I did to be able to join the Bengal community here today. Idaho State University celebrates those of you who are the first in your family to graduate, who are graduates, and we also celebrate those of you who are here attending college now. We are glad you chose ISU for your college career. There is a place for you here at ISU, and we wouldn't be the same without your roar.
My journey as a first-generation college student was actually kind of a long journey because while I grew up about 30 miles from ISU, I was really scared to come on campus, and nobody really did any outreach at my school. So even though I had really good grades, I really knew that someday I would go to college because I did have good grades and I loved going to school. But I actually ended up going to California, and I got a job, worked full-time, and I enrolled at a university there. I thought that the only way you could go to college was to pay your way through college. So I didn't know anything about FAFSA. I didn't know anything about being first gen. I worked and I paid my tuition. I went to school at night. I worked full-time and carried 12 credits. Eventually, I ended up getting sick because that obviously was not the right thing to do. I moved back to Idaho, and my family said just get done. So I enrolled at Idaho State University. I was really lucky. I found the TRIO office, and they really helped me. And within 2 years, I had completed my bachelor's. I'm the oldest in my family of 5 sisters. I encouraged my younger sister to go to college. I told her to just enroll in a 4-year institution. So she did come to ISU, and I'm getting emotional. So my sister and I both graduated from Idaho State University the same year. And I feel like I paved the way. So if I get emotional, it's worth it. You got to pave the way for the others. They'll come, they'll follow you.